That's good since you already started.
Well, that was somebody's note taker thingy. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how that thing works. Claire, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Are you familiar with seniors real estate specialists and who we are and what we do? I knew you were going to say that. So we have 1 minute. I'm going to tell you. We work with senior homeowners and the families of senior homeowners. So what you do, you be quiet. What you do is so helpful to us in so many ways because we can have this knowledge and we can use it in our practice in taking care of our clients and our families. Um, it's something, of course, that not everybody is familiar with, and it is a really a great resource, and you're going to be able to tell everybody about the where's, why's, and what for's.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Awesome. And let's see. We'll give you more information. Well, you'll learn as we go along about who we are and what we do and why we're doing this. And so we really appreciate you being here. So it's 11:35. I'm going to get everybody started. We'll introduce you, Claire Margason from the United Way Bay Area.
Are you recording?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Would you like to say something, Skip, for Claire?
Nope. You're doing a good job. Go ahead.
Claire, this is quite the bunch, let me tell you. This is a networking meetup group. It is educational in nature. And we'd love to be able to have these meetings and these interactions, especially with organizations such as yours, because it just makes us better. It just makes us do our job better. Hi, Lynn.
Hello, Julie.
Okay, so Claire, we're going to go ahead and let you get started. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. All right, I'm just getting my screen going. Sorry, right when you handed me the mic, my mouse died, so now I'm using on my laptop, but I think it should still work. Are you able to see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll need this. I'm gonna mine it. Because have to use my laptop, I can no longer see my big monitor, so I won't be able to see you all. So feel free to, interrupt me or come off mute at any point.
If you want to have questions during, or do you want to have them at the end, towards the end?
Honestly, I don't really have a preference. So we'll have time for both. So
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great. Well, it's so nice to be here with you all. Again, my name is Claire. I work with United Way Bay Area, and I'm our Senior Director for the 211 program. So I'll share a little bit about United Way Bay Area, who we are, but then I'm really going to focus on the 211 program today. So United Way, we're actually one of the largest nonprofits in the entire world. So I always like to share that. A lot of our work is actually international. We have over 1,800 United Ways across the whole world. And then each local United Way, so we're United Way Bay Area, we can focus on what our community needs are and where there are gaps. But these things on the screen, these are kind of the buckets that most United Ways work on. So education and youth opportunities, strengthening financial stability, health and well-being, and then community resiliency.
Isn't it true that in some other parts of the country, the 211 is not associated with United Way?
Yeah. So
there are other sponsors?
Yeah, about 70% of 211s throughout the US, Canada, and Jamaica, so it is international, are run by United Way. So that other 30% is a mix of nonprofits and other agencies. Like in Placer and El Dorado, the counties run 211. In Sacramento, Goodwill runs 211. So it's an interesting mix. But United Way is the majority of 211s are run by United Ways. Great. So this is our vision and mission. I won't read this out to you, but really our everything we do at United Way is around breaking the cycle of poverty. So what can we do in the Bay Area to bring together partners and resources to end the cycle of poverty for all that live here. I always like to show this too. United Way Bay Area, we cover 8 counties. So every county in the Bay Area, except for Sonoma, that's our partner, another United Way up there. But then we only run 201 in 6 counties. So it's a little confusing, but I'll go into that more later. So on the screen, you can see where United Way Bay Area is based. And then these are our 4 areas of impact. So you can see they kind of align with that greater United Way network. So basic needs, that's the team I'm part of, right? How can we ensure that folks in the Bay Area have access to basic needs? We have another team that works on employment and career opportunities, especially for youth and young folks. And then financial stability, it's actually our biggest program is around helping people build their finances. And then housing justice is kind of our newest branch. We've always worked on housing, but the past 4 years, we've started a whole team that they're focused really on increasing affordable housing and making sure that people can stay housed. And then these are like the specific programs under all those buckets. But again, I'll share this out. So if you want to learn more about our programs, you can check this out later. Okay, so now going on to 211, which is really the main thing I'm here to talk about today. So I'm hoping many of you have heard of 211. We are a 24/7 call center. So just like you would dial 911, you can pick up the phone, press 211, you'll get connected to trained professionals who know what resources are available in your community and know how to build rapport. They have training in trauma-informed care and crisis response, and they can their job is really to help connect people to free and low-cost resources in the community. A really cool thing about 211 is we can offer assistance in over 240 languages. So at our call center, 70% of our call specialists speak a language other than English and English as well. And then we work with 2 different live interpretation companies. So if there's a language that someone calls in that we don't have a staff member that can talk to them, we bring on a live interpreter. And so this is something not a lot of people know, but I always want to make sure people are aware. So we really do whatever we can to make sure that language is not a barrier. And then all of our calls are private and confidential. The only information that people have to share with us is the zip code or the city that they want us to look up resources in. We do ask optional questions that can help us with our search, such as, are you a veteran? How old are you? Are you currently on Medi-Cal or food stamps? But we tell the caller that this is optional. They do not have to tell us that. It's just, if they're comfortable sharing, they can. But again, the only thing that people have to share with us is the zip code. So we don't ask their name, we don't ask an address or anything like that. So I spoke to this a little bit already, but you can pick up your phone and dial 911. We also have a pretty robust website, which is 211bayarea.org. And our database is a public good. So all the data that we have about services and programs in the Bay Area, it's on our website where we want anyone to access the information however they can. And then also we have some texting services. So if you want to text with a live human, a call specialist, you can text your zip code to 898-211 and someone will respond. For that, we only have it currently in English and Spanish for the live texting. So we're hoping to build that out. But for languages other than English and Spanish, calling is still the best bet. And then we also have keyword texting, where you text a word to 211-211. So you could text the word earthquake or terremoto or the word benefits. And you'll get information about how to prepare for an earthquake, for example, or benefits. You'll get information about what benefits are available in the state of California. There's a screening tool to see what you're eligible for, and then assistance with actually enrolling in those benefits. Just as an example, there's a whole list of other words as well. I mean, we don't have to go deep into the history, but 211 is relatively new. The first 211 started in 1997, and then slowly it kind of rolled out throughout the country. United Way Bay Area, I think I have a slide on this, but we in the 70s actually had a homeless helpline in San Francisco. And that helpline is what eventually evolved into 211 San Francisco and then 211s in the other counties as well. Yeah, actually, this is the slide. So yeah, we started our helpline in 1977, and then 2004 is when United Way Bay Area first took on the 211 short code. Or and then this, I mean, I think I couldn't see, but I think it was Skip that asked the question. So why 211 United Way, right? As I mentioned, 70% more or less of 211s are run by United Ways, and then the other 30% is a mix, right? It depends on what's best for that community. But it is it was just a natural union for 211 and United Way, because a lot of what United Way does is building relationships with all the CBOs or community-based organizations in a community, understanding what they do, what their eligibility is. So that already lends itself to a very rich community resource database. United Way is also, like, we're in that interesting juxtaposition where we provide direct service, but we also do policy and advocacy and do a lot of fundraising as well. So, and sometimes we're even a grant maker ourselves, like we'll give money out to community organizations. So that also has really helped us, especially in disaster response and preparedness, because if we already have those relationships, we can help, raise money or organize volunteers, which, goes hand in hand with what 211 does in disasters as well. Here are all the different websites. So as I mentioned, our website is 211 Bay Area. We cover 6 counties. Our partner organizations, Eden INR, they're actually switching their name to 211 Alameda. They cover 211 in the Alameda County region, so Oakland and around there. And then Contra Costa Crisis Center is the 211 for Contra Costa County, and 211 Sonoma is Sonoma County. So these are the individual websites of each of our 211s. And then we also have a California 211 and a worldwide 211 website. So it's usually pretty easy to find the website, right? You could go to any of these to find your local 211.
So it used to be that not all the country was covered by 211. Are you implying that maybe it is now?
Sadly, no. We're getting closer and closer every year. But no, it's not 100%. And even the state of California is not 100%.
Really?
There are states like Texas, Wisconsin, Maryland that are 100%, but California is not. On the screen, this is the blue. It's not the easiest to see, but this dark blue, these are the counties that are not currently covered with 211. This light blue is called disaster special projects only. So the only time that the state of California actually funded 211 was a special bill called SB 1212 that allowed for disaster only 211 services. So essentially, if there was a wildfire or an earthquake, we could activate 211 in these counties. So that actually covered all of these unserved counties with 211. Unfortunately, that funding ran out 2 years ago. And so as a network, we're kind of scraping, all of our resources together to see how can we get full coverage. So fortunately, we were able to, a few of those counties that were originally covered by that bill, we were able to get 24/7 211. There's still 3 counties that are disaster only. I should know these off the top of my head. I think this is San Benito. Yeah, I have a cheat sheet up that I'm looking at. And this is El Dorado. And then the ones that are no active, we're still kind of working to see how can we get 211 there. So Del Norte, Modoc, Lassen, for example. Yeah, it's a really, I think it's a big challenge. And I think a big part of it is that the state has never funded 211, so each local 211 has to fund and sustain themselves. That is something we're actively trying to change, right? We'd love to have state funding. We're also working on federal funding, but that is a whole other conversation and is not looking very positive, at least right now. But we're always trying to fundraise. So we're lucky that in the Bay Area, there is, 100% coverage of 211, but yes, sadly, not throughout the state. Some more, so I spoke a little to this too, but just, why and how 211 in an emergency. So, we were designed to support people, in crisis, especially folks who maybe need food or shelter. But as we've evolved, like we've really become an emergency response leader. And a big part of that is because, people are, with a 24/7 call center, people are going to call us no matter what. So a big part of my job is working with all of the emergency response partners in a given county, whether that's the Office of Emergency Services or the local VOAD or COAD, which is the coalition of organizations that are active in disaster response, and making sure that we have all the accurate information. And then a big way we can help during disasters is we can alleviate call volume to 911, right? So if somebody doesn't know, they need to know if they're in an evacuation zone, or they need to know where a family reunification center is. They can call 211 and get that information instead of calling 911, because we want to make sure that 911 is always available for folks who are in, life-threatening or very grave danger. Here's examples of what of the roles 211 plays in emergency response. During COVID, we did a lot of new work. We actually did vaccine scheduling. So people would call 211 to get COVID vaccine appointments. We also worked directly with the Department of Public Health to be the primary hotline if people just had questions about COVID, wanted to find out where they could get vaccinated, or where they could get treated if they were positive or were worried about being positive. So in a lot of ways, the pandemic did kind of cement 211 as a strong emergency response partner. And so we're taking a lot of those lessons learned now as we respond to other types of disasters, which in the Bay Area so far has primarily been wildfires and floods, as well as some, other extreme weather. I'm just checking how we're doing on time. Okay, I think we're okay. So these are special projects that we do. So I mentioned a little bit about our funding earlier. These special projects are a mix of things we really want to do to help community, and they're things our funders want us to do. So I'll just kind of go through these one by one really quick. This is a super cool project. This is actually statewide. The major utilities in the state of California have funded all 211s in the state. So we're funded by PG&E since they cover our network. But Southern Edison also funds the 211s in Southern California. So we do emergency preparedness screening. So anyone that calls 211, we talk to them about if they are prepared for a public safety power outage or any kind of power outage that could affect them. And then if they're not prepared or they want more support, we do what's called care coordination, where we make an appointment with them, call them back, and help them create an emergency plan. And this has been really, really helpful because most of our callers are not prepared for a power outage or other disasters. And so it's really nice to be able to help them make a plan. And then also we can collect vital information such as, is somebody reliant on a breathing machine that if the power went off, they would, it could really threaten their life. So we were able to collect that information and work with PG&E so that we know who needs extra support. And then PG&E, when possible, will actually fund things like backup generators or other support for those households to make sure that they are prepared if a power outage does occur. This one I mentioned earlier, this was actually a partnership with the California Office of Emergency Services. We're no longer getting funded to do this, but we kept the texting campaign live because we thought it was a great resource. So this was a promotion of the MyShake app, right, to help people be prepared for an earthquake. The MyShake app will give you a little 2 to 3 second pre-warning if an earthquake is coming. So at 211, we always promote this. It's actually October. There's an event called the Great Shakeout, which I actually think is in 2 days. So we will even talk to callers about earthquake preparedness around that event, just to make sure folks are prepared. When we were funded to do this work, our outreach was primarily in Santa Clara and San Francisco, because those are the 2 counties in the Bay Area that are most at risk for an earthquake. But this is something we do everywhere, because earthquakes could happen anywhere. This is another interesting grant that at first I was like a little skeptical about it, but now I really love it. So the California, it's also through the Department of Public Health, but it's the Tobacco Control Program. They fund 211 to screen callers that use vape or use nicotine products, and then offer to make them an appointment with Kick It California to help people that want to quit smoking or quit using tobacco products to help them quit. And we've been doing this almost 5 years, because it started during the pandemic. And it has been actually quite amazing to see how many 211 callers go on to Kick California and then are able to either quit smoking or at least diminish their use of tobacco products. So it's been a very successful project, and we hope to keep doing it.
Great idea.
Yeah, so there's lots of, like, you can see, like, our bread and butter is still helping folks, connect to free and low cost resources, but we have all these extra programs in case the caller is interested or fits into them. The Caregiver Support Program, this is actually led by United Way worldwide. We have a texting campaign, and then our call specialists have also been trained by AARP to make sure that we know of all resources available to anyone that is a caregiver, right? Maybe they're caring for their family or a friend. So this is a program that I think we're in the 2nd year of this, and it's going really well.
I might make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Obviously, driving is such an important feature for seniors, and there are some places that you can do the driver's course either online and or in person, but they're not always that obvious. AAA, DMV, Highway Patrol, AARP are some of the ones, but you might be able to make that a feature that people can call and ask for driver's education for seniors and see what you can do for them.
Yeah, I'll check our database, but I think we already have that information. But that's a great suggestion. I'll check to make sure we do have all of that, and then I can also look at if we do have all that information, how many referrals are we actually making to that program? And if we're not making many referrals, maybe we need to do some outreach around that and make sure people know that they could call 211 to find that information. So yeah, that's a great suggestion. Thank you. All right, I just think there's just a couple more special programs, and then I will wrap it up. So this is a statewide program as well, California versus Hate. So this is a statewide program that's run by the state, but 211, we come in after hours. So between, I think it's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can either call 211 or there's a 7-digit hotline for the state, but after hours you can call 211, and it's a way to report hate crimes. So our call specialists were trained by the state, and it's just a way that if anyone feels like, a hate crime happened to them or they witnessed it, they can call 211 to report it. And then, oh, I think this is the last one. So another thing we're working on is called the data exchange framework. This is where we are learning how to, if we get to a point where we need to or want to exchange community data, that we have all of the security and protections in place. As I mentioned before, we don't require callers to share any personal information with us. It's completely, the calls are completely confidential. And however, there are programs that 211 could enroll people in where a caller would have to share personal information, right? Again, it would be up to the caller. They would opt in or out and they would sign a consent form to do that. But the idea here is that if a caller opts into sharing their information and gives us permission, we could actually send that information to a health system or to another community-based organization that could enroll that client. So like the whole goal here is to ease the burden on the client and make it so that they're having to do less intake forms and share less. But it is, of course, very, very complicated with all of the HIPAA requirements and other privacy laws. But this is something that we are working on as a collective of 211s throughout the state. Another thing I just love to share with folks is that so I mentioned our database is open to everyone on our website, but also we have a 211 data dashboard. So these links here, you can click on these and you can see how many calls we're getting in a given week or month. You can filter by zip code or by city and see what are people calling about, right? Unsurprisingly, about 50% of our calls are housing related, right? People, maybe they need emergency shelter, maybe they are behind on their rent or are afraid of being behind on their rent, and they want to know about rental assistance programs or utility assistance. You can see all of that data on our public dashboard. And then here are just some stats from last fiscal year, which for us ended June 30th. We had just over 51,000 calls and texts where we were actually able to connect with that person and share resources with them. Of those callers and texters, we made over 128,000 referrals, and 52,000 of those were for housing and shelter. And then almost 20,000 callers, it was their very first time calling 211 this past year. This I mentioned too earlier. I don't know if you all are interested in policy or advocacy work, but we're always working on advocacy at United Way Bay Area. 211, we have a lot of challenges right now, right? As I know many public serving organizations do with funding. But 211, as you can imagine, a 24/7 call center is very expensive. And we've never received federal or state funding. So because of that, we are doing a lot of advocacy around making sure that our state legislators know the value of 211 and really encouraging them at some point to provide some funding. And then, of course, also at the federal level. So if any of you are interested in learning more about that, we do have ways to get involved. And again, you can follow up with me after after this meeting if you're interested in that. And then here's just a list of all of our resources. So the data dashboard I showed you already. If you know of an agency that wants to join 211, it's super easy. You can do it on our website, or you can email me or my team, and we'll help that agency get added. We also have lots of flyers and cards. Yeah, here's an example. This one on the left, we're adding it. It's currently in English, Spanish, Mandarin, Russian, Vietnamese, and Tagalog, and we're adding Arabic to it as well. So we can distribute those flyers, we can mail them to folks, or we can drop them off. And then we also have these little 211 cards. They're like a business card size, and they're in 4 languages. They fold. So we also have other materials, but these are kind of our 2 main flyers that we hand out. So if you ever want those for anyone you're working with or partners, we can get those to you. And then here's our team. I should have probably put their email addresses next to, but we're a small and mighty team at United Way Bay Area. But really, if you have any questions after this, you can reach out to me, and if I don't know the answer, I'll make sure to connect you with the right person. And that is all I have for you. Any questions from
So
you?
Claire, I have some questions.
Yeah.
So on your flyers and your consumer facing materials. So quite often what we do as in our businesses, we offer these kinds of information resources, and we co-brand on them. Is that something that that is allowed with your flyers and such?
Yeah, I think so. The ones I showed, I mean, those are already printed. But we do co-branding for like right now we're doing United Way Bay Area is doing a big disaster preparedness project with Verizon. And so we're co-branding with Verizon right now. So yeah, we absolutely can.
I mean, at the very basic level, we just use the PDF resource and we just, you know, put it in Canva, and then we just use it to give out to our clients.
Well, you
Yeah.
could even put stamps or stickers on for that case.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
thank you. So for your fundraising, do you have fundraising and a group of sponsors for 211 in place already?
yeah.
And then do you have a like a list of those sponsors that are connected to you funding 211?
Yeah, absolutely. So it most of our funders or sponsors, it's county by county. So like in this county of Santa Clara, for example, the county funds 211 as well as several of the cities. Like our two biggest funders in Santa Clara County are the county's exec's office and the city of San Jose. But their funding covers less than 1/5 of what it costs to run 211 in Santa Clara. So we're so grateful, and we really rely on their support, and we have to fundraise more. I don't have the list off the top of my head because we're 6 counties for 211, and it's like, you know, close to 40 different funders, and some of them are small, like City of Mountain View, love them. They give us $5,000 a year, right? So we have really small grants like that, and then much larger grants. Some of our biggest funders are PG&E, Verizon. Trying to think, we get a lot of like short-term county grants. Like in San Mateo, we got a Measure K grant, for example. So it's really a hodgepodge of funding. The majority, though, of our costs are covered by unrestricted donations to United Way Bay Area. So when somebody just makes a donation to United Way, and they can designate it to 211, or they can just say, you know, use this money where you need it. A lot of that goes to 211 because it's just such an expensive program to run, right? With being available 24/7. But I can get you the list of our main sponsors or donors throughout the region. And then, yeah, the way to donate is it's just on our United Way Bay Area website.
Right.
Yeah.
So a portion of your funding does come from local government then?
Yep.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
good to know. Yeah. But not state funding, but local government. Okay, so
Yeah.
because we interact with our local government people, so it's a
Oh,
good
that's
talking
great.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, but just so you know, for our local government, we're only funded by local government in San Mateo and Santa Clara counties. We're not funded by local government in Marin, Napa, San Francisco, or Solano.
Alameda?
Alameda, yes, but that's a different 211. And Alameda just lost their City of Oakland funding, which the whole other, you know, cities, right? Every year it's a different budget year, and Oakland is having a hard budget year. So they did cut their 211 funding, but hopefully it's a temporary cut just as they get their budget.
Well,
Claire,
that's
you might
great
want to put,
information to know because, oh, sorry, Skip. Just to say, because our associations, we have foundations. And so I can take all of that information and I can figure out which foundations that that we work with in the real estate business industry might be a good fit for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And if there's anything we can share, follow up, whether it's marketing materials or we have a development and fundraising team. So if there's anything we can do to support, but yeah, that's great. I really appreciate that.
Okay, Skip, go ahead.
Claire, you might want to put your contact information up again for people to copy down. And also, you don't have any affiliation with SourceWise, do you?
We partner with SourceWise, so they're actually our high, it probably doesn't surprise you, but our top referral for anyone that calls us over the age of 65, if you look at where we're referring them, at SourceWise is the main one. So there's a few staff actually that work at SourceWise that come from the 211 world. So they're really great about checking in with us of like, hey, we have a new program or there's a change to this program. So we're always updating it in our database.
So if you could get an updated brochure to 211 and SourceWise, that would be great because I've been waiting.
That brings up another subject. What does one have to do to be a 211 team member? To work the phones and do the things that you're doing. Are there any requirements?
Yeah, it's actually there is a national accreditation. It's called Inform USA that you can do it in as little as 3 months, but most people take a year to do it. And it's a very in-depth training on information and referral. So some of it is like, the 211 taxonomy, right? The way that we actually categorize our database, because it's like the Dewey Decimal System at the library. It's very comprehensive. A lot of the training is around how to build rapport with callers and be empathetic, and there's the whole like trauma informed and crisis response, because even though we're not a crisis response line, we get many crisis calls.
So it sounds like that you don't really take part-time people. What I'm thinking is, some of the real estate agents like to do side gigs, and I was thinking this might work for them, but if it's a full-time job, that might make it a little limiting.
Yeah, we do have part-time. We have part-time staff because it's all, shift based. So I could definitely share more. But it is, yeah, I'll find it. I think the lowest amount, it would be like 20 hours a week is probably what our lowest part-time work is. With that said, in the past, we have engaged volunteer teams for like early days in COVID, for example. We trained volunteers because overnight we started getting thousands of calls more than we were getting before. And, there was I think there was a time in March 2020 where our wait time was like 30 minutes. It was terrible.
Wow.
Luckily we haven't, now like 5 minutes is a really bad wait time now. So we're doing much better.
So this is a paid position then?
Yeah. So yes, all of our call specialists are paid, but we are looking at, how can we better engage volunteers? So yes, if it was a volunteer position, then we would, we probably could come up with like 4 hours a week or something much more flexible.
Okay.
Maggie, did you have a question?
No, I was just going to comment, Clara, this is great information. I've been in the reverse mortgage industry for 32 years now. I didn't know you did all of this. I'm actually looking at your website right now and I'm like, oh my God, where have I been at?
That's why we have her on.
I know. It's just amazing everything you guys do. I'm looking at all of this and I see there's volunteer opportunities as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Yeah, United
Yeah.
Way Bay Area we do quite a few volunteer opportunities, and for a lot of them we'll partner with maybe a corporation or an agency that they want to do something meaningful with their staff. So yeah, we have a whole team that organizes all of those. And then like I said, I want to do more volunteering with 211. So I'm trying to figure out, how to make that work.
That's nice.
I'm just betting both Lin and Micklin are going to be using you for presentations for their groups.
Yeah, we're happy to. I can present, or there's a few of our team members also can. So yeah, we do a lot of presentations like this, and then also we do a lot of in-person outreach as well. So if you know of events, you know, where you're like, oh, 211 should be here, you can reach out because we love going in person as well.
Great. Do you work in concert with CERT?
Yeah. So we are part of all of the local, so they're sometimes BOAD, sometimes COAD. It's the Coalition of Organizations Active in Disaster, or the Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. So we're members of every BOAD and COAD in our region, and so is CERT. So we often work with them in that capacity. I used to work for United Way Monterey County, and I worked on 211 in Monterey, and there we ran the volunteer center for the county, and we could use, what are they called? They're called like disaster volunteers that the county certifies. We don't have that set up here in the Bay Area, but we do work really closely with CERT just to know what, you know.
Well, that's
when
good
there
to
are
know.
trainings.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm certified emergency response
Oh,
team member.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
we also have within our designation systems with the real estate National Association of Realtors, we do have a disaster preparedness designation. Something that
Awesome.
we're working on combining with our SRES, which is our designation. Because one of the things we endeavor to do is help our families be more prepared for disasters, obviously. And 211, the resources, especially what Maggie mentioned about, we had no idea there was all of these resources from 211. That's amazing. So now we're updated on all of that, and we can implement that in our business, in our families as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Lynn, did you have a question?
So sorry if I missed this, but what's the avatar of the people that are using 211 services?
Like, who's our normal demographic?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty broad mix. But the majority, actually, I wonder, I might be able to show you on our dashboard. The majority are women between like 25 and 45, it's that age range. And then we don't, I mean, because data is optional and self-reported, we can't share exactly, but over 50% of our callers are on Medi-Cal or CalFresh. So that kind of gives you an idea about their income level.
On Medi-Cal, and what was the other one?
Or CalFresh, the food stamps program.
Oh, okay. Medi-Cal and okay, CalFresh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can also look at, when we look at referral data, you know, especially to like homeless shelters, that can be as high as like 20% of our calls sometimes. So we do know that many of our callers are, you know, in extreme poverty.
Mm-hmm.
How about seniors? Do you identify a senior demographic?
Yeah, here, I'm going to pull up our dashboard so I can tell you. And actually give you some data. 1 second.
Yeah, I'm just like wondering, like the people that we come across, you know, where, you know, we probably, I don't know, maybe you guys do, but for me, I'm not really in contact too much with a 25 to 45 group with women. I mean, maybe I am in like the church sense, like social sense, but I'm just thinking in the business sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, let me show you. Sorry,
Although like adult children, we work with adult children.
True.
Yeah, so this is just looking at our data from January till now. So almost 17% or 4,000 of our callers are over 65. This is just, though this doesn't break down by gender, this is just the age. So you can see it's like, you know, once you're above 25, it's where it's the highest, but it's still pretty high at all levels of adults. And then This is our breakdown of race,
You have
ethnicity.
to- Oh, sorry.
And then I think we also have, yeah, here's gender. So yes, we do have more female callers, but again, like if you look at male, this is just since January, almost 10,000 callers were male. So it is really a mix of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's good data. Thank you.
Or maybe the question I should ask, like, what situations are they like caregivers to their families and then they're not able to, they're caring for someone or maybe even childcare where they don't have now enough resources for their own like basic needs type of situation. I'm just,
Yeah, I mean, this is why the training is so in depth, is because the type of needs we get are they're so broad. So yes, many of our callers, I mean, they're, like I was saying, they're struggling to meet basic needs, right? They might not know where they're sleeping that night, they might not have a meal, but beyond let's just, I'm just saying, let's say that's 30% of our callers, but that remaining 70%, it's so broad, right? Like I was listening to calls yesterday, we had someone call because their brother was incarcerated and they couldn't figure out which jail or prison they were at. So we were able to help them, find the right resources so they could figure out where their brother was. Another example, it's a lot. We do get a lot of calls for people who just lost their job, right? They still have a home, they're paying their rent, but they're really scared about what's coming next. So in those cases, we can give them some employment training resources and also let them know that they're already eligible for some, cash or payment assistance programs. So it really varies. So that's why we do so much kind of general and specialized training for the call specialists so that they're able to kind of be jack of all trade types and help wherever they can.
mm-hmm. Okay. And then, so these are, you do have a job training, program that they can go to.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, depends, on the city where the caller is based, but every county we have some job training program. So
That's funded by the county.
it depends. So we at 211 we don't discriminate. Any service can be in our database as long as it's free or low cost. Really, our only criteria is we don't include resources that have a really, really high fee or don't offer any kind of financial aid or subsidies. But we have faith-based programs, we have county and city-led programs, we have programs that are run by community agencies. So really, if any agency wants to be in 211, we're always happy to add them.
Okay, so you have strategic alliances throughout the communities of organizations that are providing services that have that are lower costs. I mean, maybe even free. I don't know, free or low cost.
Yeah,
And then you're kind of like just the concierge of sorts of.
exactly. Yeah. That's a great way to put
And
it.
then you're funded by the local governments, which is the county and the city.
We are funded by the county and cities in San Mateo and Santa Clara counties. Not every city, but several of the cities.
Oh,
But we're not funded in Marin, Napa, Solano, or San Francisco. So we're asking the cities to fund us.
oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Carlos. Go ahead.
Well, I have to run, but I just want to ask you, do you have a hotline number so we can reach out for United Way?
Yeah, here I can put my phone number in the chat. And I can also put the main United Way phone number. And then of course, if you want to get in touch with 201, you just dial.
Okay, and her numbers are on the first page of the bulletin.
It's blurry.
Oh, is it? Thank you.
All
On
right.
page 1.
Also, I'm going to send you my landing page because I'm proud of it. I want you to take a look at it. Maybe you can join me and support me.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good.
okay. Thank you so much for the presentation.
yeah, you're so welcome. And I'm just putting my phone number in the chat too.
Thank you. And
Well,
what is
her hand up.
I'm sorry, Claire?
Yeah.
Nicklin has
What
her
is your
hand up.
nickname? Sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
Nickname? No?
Oh no, yeah, I just go by Claire.
Claire. Nice name.
Thank
No,
you.
Micklin has her hand up.
Thank you. I was just going to ask that. Thank you, Skip. That question about your phone number. And as far as some of your services, I know United Way does a little bit of everything. Are you, and you did say you're affiliated with faith organization. I'm assuming churches, community centers, and such as that.
Say the organization again at the end.
You said faith-based organizations like Sacred Heart as
Oh
an
yeah.
example. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one,
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
okay. Our church does a diaper distribution, and that's a big thing. I was looking at demographics, that age group 24 to 30, I guess, that age group who is in need. And I don't think our church is the only one. We do it on a rotating basis. So some of our ladies in our small group volunteer for that, and they come on certain days. And also the Afro Center downtown San Jose, they also do that diaper distribution. I didn't know diapers were so expensive, but they come for those items. So is that something United Way does, or you refer to those agencies that do that on an ongoing basis?
Yeah. So 211 would we're the referral source. So we would refer to those agencies or those programs, and temporary programs are fine. We have lots of programs where they might say like, we do, a diaper distribution. We're doing one next Thursday and we can activate it in the database so we can tell people that. And then when it's over, we'll just deactivate it so that we're not, telling callers about something that doesn't exist. And then for United Way, we do direct service. But we try to like fill a gap if we know that if that service doesn't exist. So if there's churches or agencies that are doing diaper distributions, then yeah, we would just refer to those. But if we're learning that there is a need like in a specific city and there's no diaper distribution, that's where United Way would happily step in and try to get some funding and then organize either a one-time thing or an ongoing thing. So there's not really a yes or no answer. It sort of depends on the situation. But if anytime your church group or an agency you're part of is working on an event like that, I mean, United Way is probably always happy to partner or at least tell people, make sure people know about it if it is open to the public, like really any way we can support.
Oh yeah, those two places that I know do it because I've seen them advertising it. Yeah, so I would just contact you and say the dates in which they're doing it because they do it by appointment. So or date and an appointment.
Yeah, and I mean, you could start by, if you know the name of the agency, like if it's Sacred Heart, for example, I can check to see what's already in 211. So because maybe we already have it and then we're good. But if it's not in 211, then I would just want to make sure I have the right information to add it in.
Okay, well, I'll mention it to these ladies.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would call you. So
yeah, I
direct.
think. Yeah, I think if you're wanting to see what's already in 211 or potentially add something, it's probably easiest to just email or call me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice.
Well, this has been an amazing amount of information, new information, a lot of new information, which we really appreciate. And we appreciate your time and for being here. I'm looking forward to more about United Way Bay Area, how we can collaborate with and learn more about United Way Bay Area and collaborate. Because it's not just 211, there's all kinds of it's a huge thing. And I haven't visited, that awareness in years, but I have anybody that grew up here, we know about the United Way. So this is a good update. We really
Yeah,
appreciate.
and if it ever would be helpful down the road to do a presentation on the other programs that United Way offers, like our free tax help program or our Spark Point financial literacy
Oh.
program, like we could organize that too. So
That's
That
great.
does remind me, because I did have a question earlier on your housing assistance. So if you guys keep track of the housing questions or needs, is it mostly from renters, or do you get some homeowners?
no, we get
And with
homeowners, yeah.
homeowners in distress, because one of the things that we deal with, we do crisis management and we do distress. We do physical distress and we do financial distress. So do you get a portion of?
Yeah, we get more calls from renters, but we absolutely get calls from homeowners. People worried about making their mortgage payments or so yeah, it would definitely be worth.
And who do you engage with to support and to respond to those distressed calls?
So I mean, 211 is primarily what we call information and referral. So we're looking through our database to find which agencies can offer mortgage assistance, and then we're sharing that information with the caller, giving them any information we have, right? Like, this is how you make an appointment. Here's what documentation you need. Here's the eligibility that they have. So it'll really depend on the need, but that's where, and I know we're running out of time, but this is where I see like the future of 211 is I actually want to do a lot more like case management and quick care coordination, because now we do follow up with our callers. We send them a text message or we actually call them to find out, like, were you able to access that service? Do you need any additional information? But it's like less than 12% of our callers that we actually can connect with and find out, if they got the help that they were looking for. So that's like, the vast majority, when we hang up the phone, we just don't know. So that's my vision for 211 is to get to a point where like we're doing multiple phone calls or maybe even helping folks fill out the applications. But yeah, that is a whole other.
Okay, well, yeah, so just so you know, for in the future, that we in our organizations would be available to support you in this communication with your caller
Okay.
about financial house and home financial distress and the physical house distress. So
Okay.
if they have a flood and they just happen to call 211, we can support in all the resources for all of those situations.
That's great. Yeah. So I'll look through our database, and then it sounds like I should probably add in some of that information. So we can definitely follow up.
We want to be there for you for that now. What do you guys think?
That's great.
Absolutely.
Claire,
Okay.
I'll reach out to you later about maybe doing another presentation on the other stuff you were talking about. And I think it'd be great.
That'd be great.
We're either, I don't know if it's good news or bad news, but we're booked up through the end of April of next year.
Wow. No, that's
So,
good news. Good for
We'll
you.
try to get you in there to do a 211 2.0.
Okay.
For United Way Bay Area, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great. All right. Thank you so much, Claire, for
Yeah.
being here with us. We
Yeah,
really
thanks.
appreciate your time.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you all.
All right.
So-
Claire,
Next-
we'll let you go, and then we're gonna just do a couple of other little things.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah.
Take care.
Great.
Thank you.
So we'll talk about, first of all, we'll talk about Saturday, Michelin.
Oh, yes. I didn't see you. And you didn't text me or call me. What happened?
See you either.
That's why
Except for I was
so
there.
early.
And
Yes.
yeah. I was there, you were there, Nicole was there. We were at the Alzheimer's walk. So it was a fabulous event. So Michelin, did you walk around the whole?
Absolutely.
You
I
did?
did. And I got my little, what do they call those things? Those windmill flowers.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
what
we
she said.
got the
Go after you register, go get
flowers.
your flowers.
Yeah, I
Yes.
you got the
And I
flowers.
told Nicole that I would continue, even though I didn't have all the money ahead of time. But one of my donors said that she contributes to Alzheimer's all the time. So she
Nice.
didn't want to do it online. She wanted to write a check. So I asked and I text and I think I left Nicole a voicemail asking for her address. And I was going to have the donor send it directly to her. But I hadn't heard, so I don't know if and I wanted our group to get credit. I wanted Oasis Nicole Mello
Yeah.
to get credit. So I
Yeah.
don't know if she just sent it into, I think they had a contact or a website. A physical address is what she wanted to send it, but I wanted us to get the credit. So how would
Nicole
I
probably
go
has
about it?
the info on that. So, yeah, that was a great event. We had a great time.
Would you happen to have her physical address? Because I would certainly have her put it in the mail to her.
No,
And when somebody wants to give some money, I mean, I've never heard of this. And she was supposed to be our team leader.
Well,
This woman wants to give
probably
money, and
on
she's
the,
an ongoing
yeah,
donor.
on the walk website, there's probably instructions somewhere. We'll see if Nicole
Okay.
has those instructions.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
next week we have
It's a
the,
twofer.
pardon me?
It's a twofer next week.
Yeah.
SourceWise is going to be back with us. Annalisa is going to do a presentation on the AAAs and what they are. No, not the car club. It's the Area Agency on Aging and the Older Americans Act, which funds their programs and a lot of the stuff that they do. So it'll be a really good presentation. It'll be chock full of information. So stay tuned for that.
So does anybody have any success stories you want to share this week? Lynn?
So, well, I went to Tony Robbins. That's a
I
big
know you
story. If you haven't been, please go. He's getting old. He's 65 years old, but he looks like
did. You be quiet, Missy. We're the same age. You
Oh,
just-
okay. Sorry.
Uh,
Well, I mean, you always think
Oh, no.
fullness.
I am an Unleash the Power Within graduate over here. So, and we're the same age. So,
Okay, awesome. Well, Joseph, do you remember he's always on stage too? He
Yeah.
looks amazing. He's 70 years old. And it's like, I want to show these videos to people all over the world because it's like, it's not about age, it's about your mindset and it's about how you take care of yourself in, these avoiding the four poisons and doing all of these things. That's good. They're hard, but they're worth it. And so now I'm on this like health and wellness system. I'm on the 10-day challenge. I feel amazing. And the thing that I learned from Joseph is that he sleeps 4.5 hours a day and he just goes. And he's 70 and he looks so fit, like fit than, than anybody I've seen his age. And he's just on stage. And so that was very, very inspirational. And I was very happy. There were about 20 people in our group. I was just on Zoom call like this last week for our, well, dating myself, our 40th year high school reunion. And nobody showed up except for my friend Scott Wheeler and I, and he's all the way in Idaho. He said, "Oh, it'd be so fun to go to UPW." I said, "Go, clear your calendars, come." And so he brought his girlfriend and they came and we had other people that we knew and it was just like so full of energy and inspiring. So anyway, I'm just sorry I'm not paid for this advertisement, but yes, it's amazing. And I walked on fire. I got blisters on my feet, but it's okay. They popped and they're good. And I have medication on that. So.
You go, girl.
So what did you think of Richard's presentation today?
I liked it. The only thing I felt bad was there was some technology flaws with one of them. And I think the time like I don't know if they could do a timer or something like that. I think they were trying to squeeze a lot of information together. I mean, some of them I intuitively already know, but I think I really actually like the real estate agent presentation in the end. I'm like, you know, we should do something like that, you know?
So that's Brian. That's
Brian
Brian
DeVore.
DeVore. He's in our group. And real quickly for the other people on the call, we had a Zoom call that Lynn got us invited to with Richard Wexler, who's a local H2 connection. Is that?
Not local, Boise, Idaho.
Oh, well, he had a 925 number. So that's all I was thinking.
He used to live here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Okay.
So anyway, they did a whole Zoom thing that we just went through because Lynn got invited. So it was really good. But it was professional facing. Don't you think? I don't think it was consumer facing.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Skip, what do you think about it?
Well, I didn't take part in it. I had some other things to do, but Richard and I go way back. When he lived in the Bay Area, he was a regular at Senior Roundtable. And by the way, Thursday is the next Senior Roundtable at the Forum. And then Richard actually had a company called the Points of Life. And
Yes.
he would get up and, you know, market that at the Senior Roundtable meetings. And, you know, I've just known him for quite a while. Did he even mention anything about me or knowing me?
I think he, I got his email. It was mainly condolences about my mom because I know Richard personally too. So, no, he didn't in the email, but I'm sure he will, mention that he knows you. But I think he wants to get together with you and with Julie. He wants to catch up with you guys. So
that's going to be great because what he's doing now is currently is relevant to what it is that we're doing now, and also what we're doing, what I'm doing, and what I'm doing, bringing our group together with the national SRES and the national, our national network. So while you were at Anthony Robbins, I was at Senior Home Coach Conference. So you were getting all energized. I was getting all energized. We got so much energizing. This business, the business of the seniors real estate. So it's just going to be, especially it's time for business planning 2026. If anybody's interested in our group, I want to start a group or even just have a discussion about business planning for 2026. I did a business planning event yesterday with Kathy Corridon, who's out of Texas, for seniors real estate business planning. If anybody's interested, I got all the materials for that. Also, we're doing the Ninja selling business plan, which is a good resource. Our colleague Seb is a recent Ninja. Okay.
I'll be happy to host it. I mean, if you want to plan it, is this going to be in person or on Zoom?
I don't know. We got to brainstorm it, and it's just where everybody's at on their business planning journey, you know, to get ready for 2026. The event you just went to at Unleash the Power Within, you know, brought a lot of good material we can use for implementation for that. And then what I learned at the Senior Home Coach Conference as well. Two different, like, Unleash the Power is not real estate. It's you know, it's everything. And then we have the real estate. And then we also have, like, Brian Buffini's coming. He's going to do something. I'm going to pull stuff from that. And of course, Ninja selling. So do you guys have any, like, ideas on what you want to do for business planning 2026 for your seniors real estate business?
And also, if you have any topics that you want to cover for our groups.
Yeah, we need those. We need those.
Oh, we don't need them, but you know.
I introduced you to the Spendthrift Trust. Did you guys ever get a hold of him?
So
Yeah.
we're gonna, that's
He's
on the
speaking.
agenda. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We already have him set up.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Yeah, he'll be, I mean, because capital gains is going to be, I mean, it's huge already, but.
Well, and that's what Carlos is doing, his webinar that he organized with on Thursday. So, and that's consumer facing. So he's gotten together with Scott Varney, who's our local
Mhm.
tax expert. And he's already, so he's implemented. That's the whole point, right? We can never have too many resources for that as well.
Mhm. Right, right. Well, I mean, either way, I am happy to host it at my house or at my office. In
Oh, that
Canton.
would be fun.
Yeah, central. In my house, I live right behind Lynbrook High School. In fact, I could see the fields out there.
Which
So
high school?
Lynbrook High School in
Oh,
West.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
West
yeah,
San
yeah.
Jose. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm here, and then, or so we can host it at my house, or we can host it at my office. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have.
Anybody? Thoughts? Anybody? Anybody? Liliana, Jan, Anthony, Ron, Tammy, Carol. I'm gonna do my romper room here. I said Jan.
Nothing at this time.
All right, everybody. So next week is going to be a really, really good,
Thing.
thing, no, because it's the area agency on aging and SourceWise. So it's another set of information for us to have that's invaluable when we work with our families. So anyway, all right, everybody.
Julie, when
Thank
you're
you so
talking
much.
about
Go ahead.
topics, is that what the meeting is about, topics for 2026?
No, next week is the area
No,
agency.
no, no, for the ninja, what we're gonna do
Oh, for
next week.
ninja selling?
Next year, yes, ninja selling. Are you talking about topics, presenters, what?
The topics, I was reaching out to see if there's anything that you would like to hear particular for our Tuesday meetup. It doesn't have anything to do with the ninja. I was just asking if you had something in particular you'd like to hear about or whatever, and I could maybe set it up.
I would say real estate 101.
Real estate what?
101.
101.
You know,
Yes.
interestingly enough, Michelin, that is a really great idea. And that is something that we can install in the market makers, which is the once a month group, which is today at 1:30. So if you look on page 5 of the bulletin, you'll see all the information about market makers.
Bulletin.
I did see that now, Skip. I did see it. In fact, I hit the wrong button to join that meeting. That said, this host is in another meeting, so I got the wrong one.
Okay, so because
I
you know
did
one
see it.
thing, because all of this marketing stuff and real estate business stuff, we need more time. So let's start with the once a month market makers. That's where I'm going to put all of that in, Michelin. We'll brainstorm that, Lynn, Michelin, everybody. We'll brainstorm it. We'll get it going, and that's where I'm going to install the business planning 2026.
You know why I'm saying that? I'm sure it's, I think, pretty obvious. A lot of I call my sellers second time buyers because they own their properties or the properties were gifted to them so long ago. They don't know their interest rate. They don't know about insurance. Do you have enough coverage? They don't know. It's just like they're living there and they have no clue
No clue.
the value of what they have and how to protect it.
Exactly.
So that's why I've talked to mortgage brokers, reverse mortgage brokers, other agents, insurance people, long-term care folks, all of them. And everything centers around real estate.
Yep.
Everything. So that's why
Everything.
I'm calling it Real Estate 101.
And it's the most at risk for fraud.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why a
Yeah.
lot of people end up in probate court, foreclosure, losing their property. I just had a friend tell me they ran into some difficulties, and rather than approach the bank, they let it go into foreclosure.
Oh.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
There was
Horrible.
one resource which I really did like on the call that Julie and Skip and I were on. It's Retirement Genius at www.retirementgenius.com. And it sounds like they really put together a way to you know, for people to pay for their long-term care, because we're all going to be there
Mhm.
you know, someday, right? So these are all very relevant topics.
Where
Um,
is that one? The one you just mentioned, Lyndon.
It is retirementgenius.com. I'll drop it in the chat.
Okay,
But
great.
Carol
Thank you.
Sue, are you familiar with retirementgenius.com? She must have gone to.
Hi, sorry, I had it
that's one
muted.
of one of
Yes,
my
I am. I'm on
CSA
their
people.
mailing list, I guess.
are they good? Do you know?
Well, so I was just, okay, my
Honestly,
brain is kind
Lynn,
of,
I can't say because I get so many, emails from so many different places.
Oh, no problem.
I
Yeah.
just
I think
kind of
they-
click on the topic that seems interesting, and I've been very negligent in paying attention where things come from.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Sorry.
so I think retirementgenius.com was a life settlement company.
No,
That's
No.
why that's why I
no,
pointed it
no.
out to you, Carol
Oh,
Sue.
really? I'm thinking of a publication that's like a catch-all for all kinds of things.
No.
Oh,
It's been
Yeah.
featured like on CBS News, Forbes, and basically it's helping seniors and families navigate the complex world of retirement and long-term health care for more than
Mhm.
25
Okay,
years.
so then it's
I'm
not
looking it up right
retirementgenius.com.
now.
It was somebody else that was talking about life settlements on that call.
Oh, okay. There was
Retirement
The
Genius.
retirement genius is from another CSA friend of mine that's on the editorial board, and he's been doing this for quite a while. He was also one of the speakers on Richard's call today, from what I saw.
Well, that's what I was
Ah.
talking about.
I see right here, if I scroll down on their homepage, it says featured solution, life settlements. So what I do, and I haven't seen this before, so thank you so much. When I see something like this, the first thing I'll do is read it, just so you guys understand my process and how I vet information. First, I'll read it and make sure that the information is accurate. Then I will go to find out who wrote this and most likely get in touch with them to either, if they're not a life settlement specialist, I will also always offer my expertise and my brain for them to know that they can come to me for any kind of information. If they're not legitimate, I probably will not contact them, but I would let people like you guys know to be aware. But in general, with life settlements, as with everything financial, I urge everybody and spread the word, do research. You got to do research. You got to compare and never, ever believe somebody's, whatever they say at the beginning, don't accept it, double check it. If you find out everything's correct, fantastic. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, which was why I believe it's really imperative we get multiple responses, multiple independent inputs, and then within there, the information that's correct is there. But unfortunately, these days, we need to suss it out ourselves. Unless you know somebody trusted, that can give you the proper information. It's the only time I think it's safe these days not to research. But I will check this out. Learn more about life settlements. I don't like these life settlement calculators, and I'll tell you why. In order to determine what any company is going to pay for a life insurance policy, they need to get into the nitty-gritty of what the policy's current value is, which goes directly to the premiums for the remainder of that person's life, and more importantly, their life expectancy. So no matter what we plug in, we don't really know what the answer is going to be yet, because in addition to those two things, we don't know the company's costs, or if it's a real company, or if it's an agent that's getting a commission by referring them or hooking up with other people. It's just important to really know that it's not as simple as we try to make it seem. And we do
All right.
try to make it seem simple
Yeah.
because it's so complex.
Well, I found the slide and I put it up in the chat, and it was talking about life care settlements. So that's
Life
how I
care.
was, so look into
Thank you.
that. Yeah, look into that. And that was the
Long-term
subject that he talked about.
One thing, these long-term care life settlements, can be very similar to a regular life settlement, except that the money doesn't go to the individual. It goes to the long-term care facility. So in effect, the person is still either selling or somehow leveraging their life insurance policy to get cash, in these cases, to pay for the long-term care.
Yeah.
I could do that, but I think that people should have the option of getting the cash themselves. So
Yeah.
then they can pay for long-term care if that's what they choose, or it might be something else. If they don't realize they might be able to get the cash themselves, then possibly they can get the money and would prefer to build an ADU for themselves. It all goes to options and having the control, which I think a lot of us really need, particularly as we get older, because we're losing control of so much simply because I know myself, the last 3 years, my health has took such a hit. All of a sudden, I feel like a much older person than I was. So I have had to give up control of even taking care of my landscaping the way I want to. But with money, I can do things the way I want to, even though I may need the physical help. It's the same thing with controlling your cash, no matter what. You want control.
Yeah. We talked a lot about agency. I'm sure there was a lot of talk about agency and control too, with the event that Lin went to and the event that I went to. All right, everybody. That was a really good discussion today. Now we're just going to our brains are going to be going. All right.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this connection. It's interesting. I'm going to find out who's behind this, and we can talk about it some other time. And I actually have seen this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
this
sure
particular story,
Yes,
but the
thank you.
site. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carol, for doing all the research. that
Thank
guys-
you.
Oh,
All right,
goodness,
everybody,
me
have a
doing
great
Thank
week.
you.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna try
Bye.
it.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Hey,
I'm gonna
bye,
try it
everybody.
Bye-bye.
this
Have a
afternoon,
great
Julie.
week.
Your market makers this afternoon, 1:30. I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to make it.
1:30 on
Thank you.
Zen. Yeah, we'll see you guys then.